Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
You know, instead of some workplaces have casual Friday, we have dress up Friday, but I didn't get the memo. So,
well, I'm moving between multiple meetings today, and this is one of them.
oh,
so.
well, there you go. I bet this is the funnest one.
By far. Wait till I get to the next one.
Well, we are here to talk about cider.
Yes, we are.
For our second show in a row. In fact, last time we got together, we pitched the yeast into a jug of sweet cider, and like 3 weeks later, I put it into bottles. I didn't bother to prime it this time, but crack it open and let's see what we got. We used a SAFL US05 yeast, and like I say, I didn't bother to prime it this time.
So this will be a still cider.
Right. And it'll be interesting to see if this is, it was just a couple of gravity points higher than the champagne yeast, so it should be just a little bit sweeter. Cheers.
It smells really nice. It smells appley. It's very good.
Yeah. Ooh, it's got a little bit of a tart back end on it. It's delicious. I think I like this one a little better than the champagne yeast one. It's not nearly as dry and kind of.
No, it's not.
You know, it doesn't have that astringency that the other one did.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really, really nice. How easy.
Yeah.
What's the ABV, do you think, on it? I mean, we haven't done any tests that I'm aware of.
I'm thinking about 5%. It's not much less than the other one. So it started out at 1048, and it actually fermented to a couple of points under 1.000. So I haven't figured that out officially, but I have some emails that we're going to read here in just a second. But I do want to get to this one first, because if you watched us on the last show, we pitched yeast into the jug of cider. And Bobby writes in and says, I really enjoy watching and listening to your programs. Thanks, Bobby. I was wondering, on the most recent cider making video, when you put the yeast directly in the cider jug, did you use a fermentation lock or did you just put the lid back on it?
Don't put the lid on it.
Don't put the lid back on it. If you're unfamiliar with the fermentation process, when yeast eats sugar, it makes alcohol and CO2. And if you don't give it some way to vent, you're going to have a potential explosive situation. So I wanted to clear that off, right away.
On the other
Don't
hand,
put the lid back on it.
You just put some foil over it.
I just put some foil back on it. And this is actually the jug. This is what it looks like. I just crimped some foil over the top.
So you weren't worried about it becoming infected? In other words,
the bugs aren't going to crawl up under the foil.
You don't know my bugs. You haven't been to my house lately.
So no, apparently we didn't have problems with infection because it tastes good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
But that's not the rest of the story.
There's more?
Yes, if you remember, we did a show on making an ice barley wine, where we froze the barley wine.
Actually, I remember the beginning of that show, but I don't remember the end of it. Or anything for a week later after that.
You choked me up. Well, anyway, there's a process that you can go through with cider to do the same thing. What you do is you freeze the cider, and then you turn it upside down, and I did it into a sanitized funnel, and you let the stuff start melting. And the alcohol has a lower melting point, or a lower freezing point than the water, so it's going to drip out first.
Right.
So what you get is a concentrated apple cider that people call Applejack. And that's what we have here.
Oh, boy.
So this, I'm not sure how to calculate the alcohol percentage of it, but it's going to be higher, and I'm assuming that the taste is going to be stronger. So what you do is you just let it drip until most of the color is out of that ice in the top. And here's what the ice was. I'm not sure I want to taste that, but anyway, that's what that is. So let's taste our Applejack.
Yeah.
And it's not just to get increased alcohol content. Because if you're fermenting stuff just for the alcohol,
this isn't the show for you.
yeah, exactly. We're more about the enjoyment of the whole process and
Yep.
the final product. Cheers.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Woo. Oh.
That'll put a kink in your knickers. I mean, that is really,
That's strong.
yeah.
You know, that could do with a little age on it, I think.
Ooh,
It is
that's
very
warming.
Yeah.
Would you bring a St. Bernard in your pocket with that? I mean, wow.
Now look, it's a darker color than the original.
Look at the legs on that.
Can you get some legs?
Yeah,
legs
nice.
are the little where
Probably
it
can't
runs
see it
down
on
the
camera,
side.
but
No.
nice gams.
But it is a higher viscosity,
It's
more
quite warming. It's
more
it's-
flavorful.
Yeah, I mean, it's like brandy warming.
Obviously, a higher alcohol content.
Wow, I really like this, James. And you're right. I think it would definitely benefit from some time
Yeah,
because it's pretty hot.
it is
It's-
hot. But yeah, so that's Applejack. So another easy thing that you can do with cider.
Boy, no kidding. I really like this. I mean, I like the cider, but I like this better.
This has more character in it.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we put some spices in there or something like that.
What a wonderful thing around Christmas time.
Got some more email. Charles Hoffman, who you've heard on, and don't step on the dog, you've heard on a recent episode of Basic Brewing Radio. He says, with your cider, save a bottle or two. Within 6 or 8 months, you will see a significant increase in apple character and perceived sweetness. It will come in really nice in July. So we may save the rest of that. I may put it into a smaller bottle so we don't have nearly as much exposure to the air there.
Patriotic.
Dave wrote in with, look at all the cider he's doing. Just watched and listened to your recent podcasts and thought I'd share this recipe with you. I made this cider back in '08 and I'm actually having some right now. It's still quite tasty. He says 5 gallons of sweet cider. We have a local orchard that makes their own fresh, unpasteurized cider year-round. 3 pounds brown sugar and 3 pounds clover honey. So when you get into honey and cider, you're kind of making a cider, essentially, which is a mead with honey in it, or honey mead with cider in it.
Cider.
And also, Jeff Karpinski, who made the heat stick that you've seen on this show. I'm a fan of Strongbow and have worked out an embarrassingly simple clone over the years. Pasteurized apple juice, the clear stuff that he got from a discount store. Red Star Pasteur Champagne yeast, or USO4. Yeast nutrient, uses yeast nutrient. Then he uses potassium sorbate for stopping the fermentation, and then he back sweets it with apple juice concentrate at the end of it. So we're just scratching the surface with cider, and we will probably be revisiting this at a later date.
I hope so. This is very interesting to me. I really like this a lot. So good job, James.
I'm going to go back to the original.
I'm sticking with the hard stuff.
So try it.
Play with your apples.
I'm going to leave that alone.
I was waiting for the joke.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archived lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and our 2011 Brewer's Logbook. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com. Don't step on the dog.